Framing is a technique to bring attention to a special part of the design. Photography is about framing the scene, a special memory encapsulated within the set border of the image. Framing is also the final addition for nearly every painting found in museums and galleries. It adds an extra importance to the art within. So why not with flowers? In this month's Creative Edge tutorial, I focus on the frame made for my Neotropica Hawaii Flower Canvas. The frame for the flower canvas was made with a standard 2x2 lumber. It's sturdy, but it's not too heavy. But because of how I prepared the inner mechanics, I needed the full thickness, the nominal size of 1.5 inch of the lumber. To create this simple starter frame, you'll need the following ingredients: 2x2 lumber, drywall screws, metal L brackets, the flat ones, matte black paint, a paintbrush, IKEA Torca willow whips, glue sticks, 4-inch water tubes, chicken wire rolls, and bind wire. You also need a saw. It could be power or hand saw, a power drill with drill bit set, and a hot glue gun. So let's get started making this frame. So I'm gonna cut the lumber into a piece that's suitable for the frame that I have in mind. So I'm gonna start by just using this miter saw. For the article, I built a 3x4 foot frame, but for this demonstration, I'm gonna build a 2x3 foot frame. I'm using two 2-inch screws to screw into each corner. So next, I'm going to put in 4 of these L brackets, the metal L brackets, the flat ones, on the back side of the frame to support this construction. So it's time to paint the frame. For the article, I painted it matte black. That's my favorite color, actually, for a frame. And I'm going to give it actually 2 coats to make sure that everything is completely covered and painted. Okay, so now that the final coat of paint is dry, drill holes diagonally into the interior side of the frame, starting the grid formation. Repeat until you have created an attractively configured diagonal grid. Bind wire each of these crossings to strengthen the grid. This will become the structural spine of your flower art composition. So this is a final finish of the canvas, the flower canvas. The background, the structural spine. You can see the random placement of the willow whips, and that it provides a really good support. And so the way I'm going to flower this, there are actually 2 different ways. And one is with a chicken wire roll. So I'm gonna have a chicken wire roll that's not too wide. I mean, it needs to be fairly narrow. It's relative to the size of this canvas. This would be about the right size. And I can attach it just about anywhere. If I want to design with this across like this, I can attach it that way. And basically, you're always attaching to that spine in behind with bind wire, or it could be also with zip ties, so that it gives you sort of the main flow of the flowers if you attach it in that spot. You can have a couple of them and space it apart. You can do all kinds of things. So it's really up to you what the composition that you ultimately want to create is. So the second option for flowering this particular canvas is the use of water tubes. You will use this especially when you are actually creating for a longer term flower exhibit, or for a home where they want the flowers to last for a little longer time. And so you want to be able to supply water or water source. So that's why we're gonna use water tubes. Now the water tubes can be placed in any part of this grid because there's a lot of points of attachment. So I'm going to take the water tube and use half a tab of U-glue, 2 of them on the back of it, and place it along the spine and bind wire and securing it. So depending on where the flowers are going to be placed, whether it's actually just a flower, the short stem, or that flower with a stem, you're going to kind of place them where you want the source of the stem to be in this particular design. So you can see the 2 different methods of preparing the canvas for insertions of flowers, one being the chicken wire roll here and the others being the water tubes. And you can see the water tube placements are all on the diagonal coming from the bottom and up so that the water will stay nice and you'll get a fairly full tube of water in these. This way the stems that are really thirsty, the ones that really need the water longer, or if it's for a long-term exhibition and you want to have the reservoir water, that the water tubes placed like this really works. This one here, the chicken wire is going to be really mostly for free stemming, so that would be probably for a little shorter term exhibit. But on the other hand, that combination of that plus the water tube inserted into the chicken wire for some of the tender flowers may give you longevity. So there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of exciting potential with this to create your canvas. So if you're wondering how I did the Neotropica canvas, the flower canvas that was in the recent article, most of those are free stemmed, except for the Oncidium orchids, which were in the water tubes. So nice and free stems, they were cut, sealed, and inserted into the structure, into this frame without any water source. Like I say, except for the Oncidium. But for an event, an evening event, a party, or for a wedding, it's perfect because it lasted easily. The whole thing lasted easily, completely perfect for 24 hours. And on top of that, most of the stems that were in there lasted for almost 6 to 7 days without water. The only thing that really needed it was the Oncidium. So you just have to be more sensitive to knowing the longevity of flowers with and without water. So now that you know the mechanics of the flower canvas, I hope you can be the artist and design within this beautiful frame. To read this month's full article, please visit hitomigilliam.com/creativeedge. You'll see multiple images of all 3 designs along with the accompanying article for more insight, as well as a list of botanicals and supplies used to create each of the 3 pieces. If you missed it, make sure to watch my quick tutorial on how I created the Pele's Paradise lava vertical mechanics from this month's article. Link in the description below. Back again this month is a limited number of signed 8x10 prints, each hand-numbered and signed. This month's print features my Neotropica Hawaii Flower Canvas. Prints are available to order today. If you enjoyed this month's article and today's video, please consider supporting the channel by liking this video and subscribing to the channel for future content. And if you're interested in supporting even further, check out my newly launched Patreon page. You'll find additional in-depth Creative Edge content, as well as exciting new features like monthly virtual workshops, meetups, and exclusive discounts, and much more.